Hi Liam, this is part 2 of your rock lesson. There's a couple things I just wanted to add on to the previous video that I thought were important for practice this week, so I want to make sure I give you that material because I think it's important. I'll leave off on point number 3, how book. So you start off really strong with it, right? And this is a common thing as you're kind of playing. From phrase to phrase, those musical ideas. As you're going through, you're kind of getting like diminishing returns on kind of like how secure you are with the passages. And that's really common. So basically, what it kind of tells us is that you start like practicing at the beginning, and you practice the first phrase, and you kind of go through it and like find a spot. Oh, I get in trouble. Go back and run through it one more time. As pieces get longer, that's not really like a viable option in terms of practice. So to utilize your time the best, what you want to do is you want to first mark out all the phrases. The phrases being say like a short little musical idea where if you stopped, it would kind of make sense. You don't want to stop like the end of a measure. You'd like do maybe like 2 or 3 measures at a time if it's a coherent thought. And so what you'll do is you'll mark all those out. And then you'll what actually I recommend doing is going to the very last phrase and like starting there. So practice that one, and then go to the second to last one and practice that one there. If not, you end up kind of practicing to the beginning of the piece a lot, and then as you kind of move through the piece, it slowly kind of like falls apart, for lack of a better term. And so obviously we don't want that. It'd be kind of like the same thing as the Carcassi Andante. It'd be like if you practice like the first line a whole lot, and then you kind of periodically got to the second. The first time you were great, and then you would kind of fall apart as you kind of went through. So we don't want to practice that way. So mark out the phrases and practice from the last phrase, and then work your way forward. Like every day, do a different phrase. Start from a different spot. So like, so you might go, okay, today is like, Friday or Saturday or whatever it is. I'm going to practice the last phrase, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the second to last phrase and work your way through that. And then at the end of your practice, your note reading practice, that is, it shouldn't be your whole practice, but it should be some of it. Then you like kind of like run through what you've worked on so far. So that way everything kind of gets worked on evenly, rather than just kind of like, I know it's easy to kind of like zoom in and like focus on like one thing, but you want to make sure to practice like all of it a little bit. It's better to practice all a little bit than like one part a lot. Is what I'm trying to get at. Other thing too is your ear's really great, right? You got a nice ear. You should thank your parents for that. They got you. I'm on video right now. So you want to make sure to practice your notes. So your ear's really good. Hey buddy, Daddy's on a video right now. You wanna go find Mama?
Puppy dog.
You're a puppy dog? That's great. He's a puppy dog. Here, come up here. We're talking with Liam, and we're telling him what we want him to practice this week because he's on vacation. Come on, buddy. All right. So what you want to practice is so what we need to practice more is like our note identification. And the thing is that we're going to use notes all across the fretboard, so it's not you're only just for down here. We're going to be using them for the higher parts of the guitar. So what I did was I forwarded over to your mom an email of Andrea Cannon, who I was a student of, and she has this great deck of flashcards, and just go through your flashcards identifying those notes all over the fretboard. That way, one day when they call you down to the Center of Performing Arts and need a guitarist to sit in on whatever chart that they're playing through, you're a first call guy. And let's see here, what else do we have on our list? So mark out the phrases, practice your note reading, and the other thing, in Ghost, the chords, looks like you have the chords down. One chord we need to watch out for is that B minor chord. When I saw you form it up, you did it, all right buddy, get to mommy. When I saw you form it up on the fretboard, you did your bar, and you looked through the bar was looking pretty good. We'll talk about that more next time, is that you did your bar here on the first fret. Oop, there it is. Sorry, drop D. And so you did your B minor chord right there on the first fret. But if you look in the notation on the chord diagram, if you notice right here, set number 2, that refers to what fret the bar chord is formed on. So if you see a chord diagram, this curved line that represents the bar, and then a number right here, in this case the number being 2, that means that bar sits on the 2nd fret. So that chord in Ghost, is actually going to be right here. right? So it's on the 2nd fret. So make that correction in there, and then what we'll talk about on Saturday is the Saturday coming up is that the next section of the song and maybe a good strum pattern for it. And then I'll show you what scale you'd use to improvise with it. To that kind of stuff, we need to start learning a little bit of music theory. I always tell people we learn just enough music theory to do what we want to do. And if you want to jam over top of Ghost, then we're going to need to know like a little bit of music theory. So maybe we'll talk about relative major and relative minor for next time. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me on over a message. I'm more than happy to answer. I'm on spring break this week, so I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Take care now. Bye bye.